In order to win a game of Rocket League, you need to score at least one goal. And if you can't do that, then, well, we need to look at your shooting skills. Arguably one of, if not the most important aspects to train for all ranks, especially once you start getting to around champion, shooting and being able to shoot with power from all over the field is an often overlooked skill to have, as people favor different, more difficult mechanics to train instead. So we're going to break down why so many of you are struggling to hit the target and how you can improve your shooting within just a few minutes. First up, why is your shooting bad? Now, obviously, we all play differently, we have different strengths and weaknesses, but when you watch the majority of people who feel they're struggling with putting goals away, it normally does come down to a few things. Number 1, poor AoL usage. I have seen so many players shoot the ball by just flipping through it or trying to diagonal flip through it, thinking that that's just gonna be enough. If you simply front flip through the ball, you are clearly showing where you're shooting the ball, which makes the opponent's job easier. The same way that when you do a simple diagonal flip to hit the ball with the corner of your car, you're showing the opponent where you're shooting. While the shot might not be too bad, it's readable. And when you give the opponent an easier time defending, more often than not, they're gonna save your shot. So, the first thing to learn is how to properly use AoL when it comes to shooting. Now, you can see in these clips behind that I'm using AoL to shoot at different angles so the opponent has a harder time reacting and saving. Now, the way I do this is using manual AoL. I personally think it's easier to hold manual AoL and slightly tilt your car in different directions than it is to use directional AoL, as directional is a bit less fluid than manual. A lot of the time, when I'm shooting, I'm looking to be as unpredictable as possible, which means if I'm driving forwards towards the net, instead of just front flipping through the ball and sending it forwards, I will try to AoL, say, to the left and then flip through the ball to the right to send it to the right corner. It's a very simple change you can make in less than 5 minutes of practice. You don't even really need to know how to AoL to start using it. You just need to have manual AoL bound and try it out in free play for a little bit. This is something though that becomes really important as you climb the ranks, as people get better at defending, they get better at understanding where you're going to shoot, and then they start to read you more and more. So getting down this small AoL movement early is key. Number 2 is being willing to wait. The next thing I can guarantee you don't do enough of is just waiting for the right opportunity. Too many times I see players shoot because they can instead of actually looking to see if there's a better option. And sometimes the better option is just to take the ball to the wall or to shoot off target on purpose. A double touch instead of a normal shot. The higher up the ranks you go, the better players get at defending. And so once again, you want to be as unpredictable as possible. Going for a quick double touch over the opponent when they're ready to defend a normal shot is a really easy way to catch them off guard. If you don't feel comfortable going for a double touch though, if you don't think you're there just yet, the other thing you can do is to look for a pass or go for a low 50-50. Now, that might seem a bit odd, taking a shooting opportunity and turning it into a 50-50 instead, but if you don't think you can score, taking a low 50 when done correctly can be a really solid way to beat one opponent or just muscle your way through. It's used all the time in 1v1s and it's pretty simple to understand. You dribble the ball on top of your car. As you get closer and closer to the goal, the opponent starts to expect a flick. Instead of flicking the ball, you drop the ball in front of your car at the last second and take the 50-50. Chances are the opponent was ready for the flick, and so as you drop it, you'll be able to muscle your way underneath the car and through pretty easily. Once again, this is something you can try if you don't feel comfortable shooting or if you just want to make sure you get through one player. A low 50-50 is a pretty safe way no matter what happens. They can't really put the ball over you as long as you know how to 50-50 correctly. The last reason is a very simple one that you see all the time from champ and diamond players. Now imagine this as an example. You're at the halfway mark. You have the ball and you have to get past one defender. Some people will go for a flick, some try to bounce dribble, some just go for a shot. But all of you have the same problem. Whatever you do at this point, you do it too fast. Understanding urgency is a massive part of Rocket League as you get higher up the ranks. If you don't need to rush, then don't rush. If you can take a second or two to get close to the goal before you shoot, you give yourself much more of a chance to score that shot. Think about it from the defender's point of view. Are they going to have an easier time saving the shot that comes from about halfway, being able to watch it the entire time as it gets closer to them? Or are they going to have an easier time saving the shot that comes from just a few meters from their net at the last second? During this time that you're moving close to the goal, you will see defenders make positioning mistakes because they are under a lot of pressure. So, take your time. Shoot a little bit later than you want to and watch the opponent the entire time to look for those small mistakes. This is used all the time in 1v1s, 2v2s, you can even pull out in 3v3s. All you have to do is slow yourself down, don't rush yourself into anything, and wait for the opponent to make a positioning mistake, and then shoot wherever they're not. You don't have to shoot just because you have the ball, you can shoot when you are ready to shoot. Now, even though those 3 things are helpful by themselves, how do we actually train our shooting? 3 ways. The first is to pick up some training packs or make your own training pack where you can actually focus the shots that you are really struggling with. Now, this is not used enough. Everyone asks everyone else for good training packs instead of just making ones that are perfect for what they need. When was the last time you made a training pack for yourself? When was the last time you sat down and said, I actually really struggle with these 3 things. Let me make a dedicated training pack so that I can train them when I want to and how I want to. Now, a good tester is if you make a pack that you can't complete, but you know it's possible, then you have the perfect starting point. However, if you don't want to go through the effort of making a training pack and you just want to start with a few easy ones, there will be some linked in the description. Use some basic training packs and make yourself a routine. Even if it is just a few shots before you get on every day, it's better to just force yourself to work on something than doing nothing at all. The next way to train shooting is by playing the game mode we all can't get enough of, 1v1s. Now, look, I have not played 1s in 4 seasons. I don't touch the game mode, I don't enjoy it, it's not for me, but I'm also not really looking to improve. I'm just kind of chilling and playing the game for content. So if you actually want to improve and get better at shooting in particular, 1v1 is your best bet. You have the most time on the ball. You get to decide how you're going to shoot every time. You learn what works and what doesn't work. You get to work on your dribbles, your flicks, your aerial game, your low 50s, everything you need to become a more threatening player, you learn from 1v1s. Now, if you hate 1s, that's fine, but even playing a game or 2 before you jump into 2s is going to help you a lot. You can 100% not care about your 1s rank and just treat it like a warm-up game mode. You can be champ in 2s and bronze in 1s. It genuinely doesn't matter. Too many people care about their rank or have rank anxiety and don't want to be seen with a lower rank, but you can literally just treat your 1v1 rank and your 1v1 game mode as if it is a warm-up for the other game modes. If you want to focus your 2s, just play a little bit of 1s every time you get on so that you can focus on improving your 2s long term. The last way to train your shooting is free play. And when I say free play, I don't just mean shooting the ball every time it spawns in. You can actually get better at shooting without having to shoot. In free play, all you want to do is hit the ball around the field as hard as you can, but you want to identify where you're going to put the ball beforehand. You want to hit the ball and have it go where you want it to go. That way you have a better accuracy when it comes to shooting. Now, this can be in a really simple way, saying I want to hit the backboard, or I can make it a bit harder and say I want to hit the backboard just above the top right of the goal. The more precise you make it, the harder it is, the better you're going to get over time. On the other side though, you can just shoot the ball at the goal as long as you are calling where you want the ball to go every single time. The harder you make it, the better you're going to get long term. In the end, shooting training just comes with practice, and the more time you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. But those are the 3 ways I recommend training your shooting. There are also workshop maps that specialize in shooting, but seeing as not everyone can use them, I thought I would leave them out of this video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. That is all from me, and I will see you all next time.